The challenge that many of the content creators and business founders face is content that gets no traction. So if your content is getting likes, but you're not getting leads, then this is the strategy drop for you. What is it about content that gets the likes but doesn't get the leads? What should you be doing differently? We're going to dig into that right now. There's a concept called the authority ladder. The authority ladder maps out the type of content you need to be producing and in the order in which you produce it. Now, I recognize the algorithms serve up what they serve, but you still need to seed the ground with the proper type of content to build the rabbit hole for people to go down. Because most content does not fail from your lack of effort. You're making the content. It fails when people don't have the full components of jigsaw puzzle pieces to understand what you do and how you can help them. People don't buy after just one post. They need to climb the ladder of belief first, and you need to build that ladder for them. Strategic content will guide your prospects upward step by step. So there are 5 levels to this ladder. The 5 levels that build trust are awareness, right? Who are you? Relevance. Does this apply to me, they think? What you're doing, is it relevant in their world? Credibility. Do they know what you're talking about? Intent. Do they get what you actually want them to do, right? You need them to take the next step. What is that? And conversion. When they actually buy, how does that happen? Every piece of content you post has a strategic function. You can't just post content to post. The purpose of content is to build relationship and help people come closer to your world. That may or may not be a purchase, but it means that they're in your orbit and you have a relationship with them, right? You want to move people closer to you. Content is the way to do that. The problem with most experts, founders, coaches, consultants, people who just aren't getting the traction they want, they're only posting the endless tips, the how-tos. This is the ChatGPT crap we see out there. Lots and lots of top 10 ways to do X. Experts that post all of this middle trust content are failing to address the specific needs of the buyer, right? The context. You have to have a CTA. You got to be able to ask for the sale, folks. That's one of the big challenges that people face in the world, not making the ask. And there has to be an emotional why. You have to make it feel for them that it's in their interest to do this. This isn't about 48 laws of power, persuasive tactics, right? Urgency, scarcity. It's not that. It's they believe what you believe. This is closer to Simon Sinek with the golden circle. They want to be doing it the way you're doing it, whatever. So that is the emotional component. The content that you need to build, ladder by rung, is awareness first, obviously, which is really not focused on teaching them yet. You're breaking their beliefs, right? When I tell you something like expertise doesn't sell, clarity does, I haven't actually taught you tactics there, but I'm making you understand the belief system of it's not the expertise they're buying, it's the clarity of understanding how you can help them. This is a mind thing, and then we'll get to the teaching later. The next step to that is relevance. Right? Once you've broken their beliefs, is this relevant to them in their world? When I say if you're a solo consultant and you're drowning in content chaos, if that's you, you're already leaning in. You tilt an ear to that. If it's not you, you move on quickly, and that's fine. The purpose of content is to filter. So have your identity filter in the content itself. The people that should be paying attention, they hear that you're talking to them. The folks that this isn't relevant for, they'll just move on, and that's what you want too. It saves time. The third component, credibility. The credibility is what we see out there now, right? This is the teaching, the how-tos, but the problem with most of that content, it's missing the proof. If I tell you, here's how to land a client, that's one thing. If I tell you that I've spent 30 years in finance, institutional sales, and now here's how to land a client. When I landed Capital Group, this is how I did it. When I landed BlackRock, this is how I did it. When I tell you the story of when I made a mistake, an error on the desk, and I was going to be fired, and Gary made a phone call to his boss and saves my job because of our relationship, him and I. That's a real story, by the way. That's a connective tissue piece. I'm now giving you not the teaching, but the proof. So all that chat GPT crap out there that doesn't have the proof, that's where you differentiate yourself. The content you're putting out there, get some of you into that. The fourth, intent, right? This is about the problem point of view, meaning I want you to feel what I feel. I want you to know I know what you're going through. So when I say, let's talk about why selling feels gross to the founders, right? Or I tell you, are you getting pitched and pounded in your DMs like I am on LinkedIn? The minute I make that statement, you're like, this guy gets it, right? There's two ways to go about sales: transactional approach, relationship approach. Transactional is faster to money. Relationship is slower, but long-term loyalty. These are realities. When I speak like that, you think to yourself, okay, he gets it. He's been there. Versus I'm just giving you what I've read off of ChatGPT or any other LLM, and I'm not giving you the deep dive feeling behind it. Feeling, this is emotional now, not intellectual. And the fifth component is conversion. I have to ask for the order. So do you. When I say at the end, if you want help fixing your content, I run this program every Wednesday live, group training, strategy. Wednesdays, I call it the Authority Engine. We'd love to have you join. That's a CTA. I don't need to pound you with it. I don't need to drag it out. Neither do you. Nobody wants to be sold, but people want to buy. If it's in their interest, if they think you can help them, if they're curious to go a little deeper. And the trick is you invite them. You don't pound. You don't pitch. You invite people into the world if they want to go deeper. So here's your action items, right? This is your homework now, folks. Go audit your last 10 posts. I want you to evaluate them on a couple of different components. Number one, what are the posts on the ladder? Like we've talked about the 5 components of trust here: awareness, relevance, credibility, intent, and conversion. Your last posts, which ones do they fall under, right? Check the distribution on that. Are people responding or is it just noise? Identify any imbalances, right? You're going to be heavier on one or the other. Lots of people are teaching right now. There's a bunch of people out there telling stories without any real actionable frameworks. I think by way of example, Justin Welsh does a great job of, hey, here's the observation. Here's a story from my life where I saw that was true. And here's the action steps to put it in place for yourself. I'll tell you now, when I share principles with people, I share the principle, I give the story, I break it down. So the emotional component of that, what I felt, how it worked out. And then you give them the 3 to 4 action items. This is how you can apply this now in your own world. And finally, find the gaps. You're going to be missing one of these steps, right? This is the way it is. 80% of your content will be stuck on one rung. This is because everyone is good at something and not the other thing. It's about getting better in your content, folks. So if your ladder is broken, you're getting low conversion, right? You're always making stuff, but no one's buying. You get attention, but no one's doing anything. Or even worse, they tell you great post, no booked calls. You need a ladder that converts. And this is what we do every week, Wednesday live. If you guys care, we go deep into this, workshopping people's stuff in a group setting, back and forth. It's interactive. It's Q&A. It's, hey, Mark, this is my situation. What would you do? And by the way, it's not me, the guru. It's a group. We attack this as a mastermind. So if this is of interest to you, we've got a bunch of different versions of this program, but basically there's a growing number of people that are building a business and need help. You either got the kids that are out of school that didn't get the proper business training, or you've got the older folks who understand business, but they don't understand content. And so they need help from one side or the other. That's what this group does. If you're ready to climb the authority ladder and you want to look into this group, DM me. There'll be more on this later. I'm not here to pound or pitch you guys like I've been telling you. But the truth of the matter is your content should be the gateway to the next level, which is real life relationship, right? That's all I got for you guys this week. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.